Hi, coffee beans! How's it brewing? Welcome back for another video and a brand new project. I was cleaning up my daughter's toys and I came across the largest stash of Hot Wheel toys. I didn't even know we had this many Hot Wheels. I think most of them are from McDonald's Happy Meal toys, but some of them are from the dollar store or Goodwill and thrift stores. She really likes cars. I mean, she'll play with them for like a minute and then leave them everywhere, but she gets really excited when she gets a new one. So, we have a ton. A couple weeks ago, I made that really pretty birdhouse, and ever since, I've been itching to paint something. Plus, I've been really inspired by Mariah Elizabeth and Nerdy Crafter, and their different makeovers that they've done. Mariah Elizabeth does amazing squishy makeovers, and Nerdy Crafter does some really cool squishy unmakeovers. Both of them have done some really cool project with thrift store finds, where they find something from the thrift store and kind of give it a new life. And that's sort of what I want to do here with these Hot Wheels. So we're going to start this project with 3 different cars. The red and the blue car are both almost identical and are kind of the stereotypical Hot Wheel car that you think of. You know, kind of a nondescript sports car. This gray one is way more futuristic, and I was kind of hesitant to paint it because I like how it looks, but it's a pretty cheap plastic and the stickers are peeling off anyway. For this project, I'm going to be using acrylic paints and varnish, which means I need to sand the cars first, otherwise the paint won't stick. I know I'm going to get crazy painting this, and I don't want to be that careful, so I'm going to cover the windows with painter's tape. And in retrospect, I should have covered the tires too. We're going to go ahead and start with this red car first. It's kind of the most generic Hot Wheels car, I think. I'm kind of going into this project blind, in the sense that I have no idea what my theme is or what I want to do. All I know is that I need to paint this car white first. I don't want any of that red color showing through. So painting 2 coats of white gave me some time to think about what I want to do. For a long time, I've really liked how galaxy art looks, so I decided to give it a shot on this car. To get my galaxy art started, I put a layer of black paint down. Then, using my sponge brush, I put on layers of purple, pink, and teal. It's more tricky to do this than I thought. I know that galaxy art has to be kind of random, but also kind of strategically placed, so it's like organized chaos. But I'm not really sure that I nailed the nebula kind of look that I was going for. I used a fan brush to kind of sprinkle on some stars, and I do think that sort of pulled the whole piece together. Plus, I added a little license plate on back that says Nova. Then I coated the whole thing in varnish. And once that's dry, I can finally peel off this tape. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out, but as I was working on it, I was getting really worried because it wasn't turning out how I was picturing it. But now that the tape is off and the car has stars, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Next, I'm going to work on our futuristic car. I knew right away what I wanted to do with this one because it was something I've been wanting to try for a while. I've never been very good at blending colors, and I'm definitely not an artist or trained or anything. I just watch a lot of YouTube, and seeing how Mariah Elizabeth paints her rainbows, she makes it look so easy. So I wanted to try it myself. So on this futuristic car, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to do a rainbow gradient from front to back. I'm going to start with red and end with purple. It was really tricky to kind of blend these colors together. I thought the sponge brush would help a lot because it kind of moves colors around and blends them in. And it helps because it doesn't show any brush strokes. I kind of like the idea of a rainbow for this car because I knew that the window going along the top was all blue, so it kind of looked like the sky anyway. And there was a lot of smooth surface space to paint on to try and practice this gradient. I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do with the back. I was thinking I could do a cloud in white and then draw some outlines in silver, but it turns out I didn't have any silver paint. I didn't have silver paint or a silver Sharpie or anything. So I was digging through my paint and found white puffy paint. So I figured, why not have a cool 3D effect puffy cloud on the back? So that's what I'm doing here. Then I coated the entire thing in varnish. Once the varnish is dry, I can finally remove the tape. I'm really happy with how this car turned out. The only downside is the paint for the cloud is still a little sticky, but I just think that's the danger of puffy paint. It's always going to be sticky. But I forgot to give this car a license plate. What do you think the plate should say? Comment below and I'll see if I can paint it on. Now our last car is going to be this blue one. I was having some trouble thinking of ideas for how I wanted to paint my cars. So I tried a little bit of a Google search and Pinterest search to see what other people have done. And I was so surprised because I couldn't find any other Hot Wheels cars. I saw a lot of people take Hot Wheels cars and modify them to look more realistic, but I didn't see any Hot Wheels that were painted like how I wanted to paint them. So maybe I'm one of the first people to do this? Have you ever seen a Hotwheels makeover? The more I painted it white though, I was reluctant to paint anything on top of it. I actually really liked how the white looked. As I was painting it, I was thinking I could do a really cute Pokemon scene, but I didn't really trust myself to paint or draw Pokemon very well. Then, looking at the white car, I realized I could still do it Pokemon and make a Togepi car. So I'm using this pink and blue marker paint that I got at Target to draw the little triangle, square, and diamond shapes that are on a Togepi egg. I tried to make them as random and varied as I could. Then, for the license plate, of course, I wrote Togepi. It fit perfectly in that space. Now this time around, I didn't want to mess with my varnish, like pouring it out and cleaning up the palette. So instead, I used regular old matte Mod Podge. And actually, I really prefer how this turned out. It dried a lot quicker than the varnish did, and it's not sticky. Whereas my other two cars are still just very slightly tacky from the varnish. It was a lot easier to use. Now that the Mod Podge is dry, I can finally remove the tape and get a final look at my car. And we're all done! I'm really happy with how this Togepi car turned out. I still would have liked to have had a Pokemon scene, but like I said, I am just not artistically inclined. So I think what I could do next time is print little pictures of Pokemon and decoupage them onto the car. So maybe I'll try that next time. But I'm still really happy with how it turned out. This project was so much fun, and I'm really happy I did it. It's definitely something that I want to try again. Hot Wheels are so easy for me to come by, but it's the ideas I struggle with. If you guys think I should continue this as a series, I would love to hear your ideas. If you can give me a favorite character, favorite books, favorite movies, anything, and I would love to try and turn it into a car as best as I could. If you have any art you'd like to share with me, or if you've customized a Hot Wheel before, I would love to see. Use hashtag BunnieDIY on Instagram, and I'll give you a shout out in my next video. This week's shout outs go to Nezreen A, Samantha Newell, Geek Girl on Wheels, Dawn Taylor, CJ Stewart, and Jewel of Life. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed this craft just as much as I did making it. It was a lot of fun. Alright everyone, I'll see you next Monday. Love you a latte!